Good morning. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful sunny morning. I'm on location at Skiff Lake, one of my favorite spots in the world. This morning I'm going to guide you through a yoga flow, one of my favorite sequences, sun salutation and some hip helpers. It will be about 20 minutes or so. As usual, I'll show you some different variations, some gentler variations moving into some more challenging variations. So as always, remember to honor your body and enjoy. So come on up to the top of your mat, hands in prayer position, grounding out through your feet, and take a deep breath. Inhale, come on up overhead. Exhale into a back bend. And of course, if you need a gentler variation of the back bend, come on into a supported back bend. We'll be holding each pose for about two to three breaths or so this morning. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, come on down through waterfall into ragdoll. And bring your feet maybe hip width apart or so. In a supported ragdoll, hands to opposite elbows. Let your head hang easily. And then of course the more lengthened version, you can let your arms relax out if you like. Let's begin by stepping back through with our left foot, and inhale, come on up into warrior one. So you'll notice a couple different variations here with my back foot completely on the ground, or for a little less stability, moving onto the left toes. Remember, our front knee does not overextend our ankle in any of our lunging poses. Come on into warrior two. Looking out and over, right fingertips, letting your hips sink. Shoulders relax. And releasing into warrior angle. So reaching way out through left fingertips, lengthening the entire left side of the body. And then from here, lengthening your right leg and moving into a triangle pose. So with a neutral neck, or looking up toward left fingertips. And of course, your right arm can be supported or unsupported on your right leg. Good, and then releasing into relaxed triangle or lazy triangle over the right leg. And of course, different variations here. If you need to be higher on the leg, that's fine, or lower. And releasing into a lunge. A couple of different variations here. We could have left knee on the ground or lifted off the ground. So opening up the left hip here. Stepping back through with the right foot into plank position. So remember all the different variations of plank on the knees, or the toes, or even the forearms. And then releasing belly to the ground. The gentlest version of the up dog. So staying on the forearms, or if you like, coming onto the hands, inhaling into up dog. And of course, if you like, lifting the thighs off the ground on the top of the feet or the toes. Exhaling back through into down dog. And if it feels good for you, walking your calves out. Reaching back through both heels. And releasing. Back into child. Try to bring your knees at least the distance of your mat apart. And a wonderful back stretch as we come on up through cat, rounding the back, tucking the chin in, and then exhaling into cow, letting the low back sink. Another wonderful back stretch is puppy pose, where we're lengthening through the arms and stretching the upper back. Good, and then come on back up into table. Inhale into spinal balance with your left leg and your right arm. And release. Take a breath between sides. And then lengthening through right leg and left arm. Good, and come on back. Next pose is a pigeon lunge before we come back up. So draw your right knee up through. Lots of variation here. To begin with, bring your right foot over in front of your left hip. If that's not possible, leave it over on the other side in front of the right hip. So we could stay in our hands, really ease your way in with your breath. If possible, you could release to forearms. And then if possible, you may even want to lengthen right out with your arms. Good. And then come on back up into table. Back through child. Pause for a breath. Good. And then come on back up. Draw your right leg back up through. Your left leg comes back up through. Big inhale all the way up overhead. And exhale, releasing into prayer position. Take a breath. Good. When you're ready, inhale, scoop all the way up overhead again. Exhale, back bending. Inhale, come on back to center. Exhale all the way down through. And this time, step back with your right foot. Inhale, come on up into warrior one. And again, remembering all those different variations from the first side. And warrior two, shoulders relax, hips open, looking out and over left fingertips. Beautiful. Come on back up into a triangle. And relax triangle. So opening up the entire hamstring here. Good, and releasing into a lunge. And again, if you prefer, right knee drops down to the ground, or lift it off the ground. Stepping back through with the left foot, plank position. Any of those variations on knees or forearms, reaching back through the heels if you're on the feet. Exhale, come on down through chaturanga if you like. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. And releasing back into child. Good. Inhaling, come on up through cat. Lots of space between shoulder blades, drawing the shoulder blades forward. And releasing low back, 6. Good. Back into a neutral back. And this time, draw your left knee up through for a pigeon lunge. So this time, bring your left foot over in front of your right hip. And again, ease your way down through. So allowing yourself to come closer to the ground if possible, onto the forearms, or lengthening out through the arms. Good. And releasing, come on back up. And again, little pause back in child. Good. Come on back through. Bring your left foot back up through. Another pause. And your right foot follows. Let your hips sink. Big inhale all the way up overhead. Exhale into a gentle back bend. Inhale, come back to center. And releasing, take a breath. Good. So that's one of my favorite sequences for the sun salutation, as many of you know. And then for the hip helpers, just a few more postures on the back of our body, which is a wonderful lead into a little relaxation time. So come on back down. This time draw both thighs to the chest. And actually, I'm going to put my sunglasses on now. So both thighs into the chest, and maybe even a little spinal rock from side to side. Shoulders relax back into the mat. And then let's release left leg. So drawing your right knee and your right thigh in. Toward the chest or the outside of the chest. Good. And then come on back to center and exhale and cross over for a lying spinal twist over to the left side and looking back over the right shoulder. If you need a little more support, bring your left knee underneath your right knee to support it. And of course, remember to breathe. Good, and then if we roll right over over onto this side of our body, reaching back for your right ankle for a little quadricep stretch. And actually it doesn't matter whether you can reach your ankle or not, just the act of taking your right knee back away from your right hip will open up the quadricep muscle. So pausing here for at least 2 breaths. Good, and then come right back onto the back of your body. And let's bring both feet, the soles of both feet to your mat. Let your lower back sink into your mat. Good, and then a piriformis stretch. So bring your right foot to the outside of your left leg. And we'll start gentle here. Bring your right knee toward your left shoulder. So feeling this stretch right in the center of your right glute muscle. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper with this stretch, you can open up the knee, interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Finishing with half lotus, so lengthening our left leg, right foot stays on top of the left thigh if that's okay with you, or moves to the inside of the thigh if that's better for your right knee. And of course, if you like, open up your chest and shoulders here with your arms out at shoulder height or even above. Good. And then releasing right leg. And just a little mini relaxation between sides here. Let your feet fall away from each other, pausing for a breath. Good. And then draw left thigh to the chest. Or the outside of the chest. And remember, a little bit of movement here in the joint is perfectly fine. Good. And then cross over to the right side, lying spinal twist on this side, looking toward the sky or back over your left shoulder. And then our quadricep stretch on this side. So rolling right over to your right side, reaching back for left ankle. Good. And then come on back to center. And again, let both soles connect with the ground, lower back sinks into the ground. Take a breath. Good. And then our piriformis stretch on this side, left foot to the outside of right leg, drawing left knee over toward right shoulder. If you like, progress to the next stage, opening up the knee, interlacing behind the right thigh. Good, and releasing. Right leg lengthens, half lotus on this side. And again, any variations with your arms that you prefer. And releasing left leg. And again, take a few breaths here. Wonderful. So hopefully this will lead right into your relaxation period for a few minutes, because of course we don't want to leave that part out. And I hope this has been helpful for you, and stay tuned for more yoga sequences. Jai Bhagwan, Namaste. I honor the light in you. Thanks.